You know, this was looking like the game where you just learned that your team just doesn't have it. That's how it started. It really looked like we were headed in that direction. This was the game where we learned that, oh, this team just isn't that good. This team, you know, they can't get up for a big game. They can't get up for a big home game. They can't get it together with their season on the line. Whatever, whatever. And then it wasn't. So I got to give the team a lot of credit for the mental fortitude to come back and win this game after going down 14-3, and honestly having the opportunity to go down by a lot more than that. So 27-24 was a good game. It was a competitive game. We obviously didn't blow them out. It could have gone either way. We needed a fourth quarter comeback. We needed a game-winning drive. We needed a time-killing drive at the end to run out the rest of the clock. So it was kind of the game that I think a lot of people expected. Decent number of points, decent number of scores, decent number of yards, evenly matched, and at the end of the day, one team just has to win. So, I mean, when that game starts and Carson puts the ball on the turf on the first play, and then the defense just basically stands there and lets the Packers walk in 3 plays later, 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards, more or less. And then Wilson is airmailing every other pass he's throwing, and we're running 3 yard outs to tight ends on third and 8, and all this stuff is happening. I'm like, all right, team's just not good enough. And just when it looked like we were on the brink of maybe just having to accept that, we found a pass rush and we found a passing game. Those those are the two things that put this game together for us, because early in this game we weren't getting any pressure on Rodgers in really the whole first half, I would say. We were just letting him sit back there and pick us apart, and he did. They put up 21 points in that first half. A long Rodgers pass on Tedrick Thompson, and then that last 2 minute drive, 3 minute drive, or whatever at the half, and it was like, well, I knew we didn't have a pass rush, but we really don't have a pass rush. I mean, I knew it was bad, but that's tough. So there was that, and then there was the Wilson problem, the missed throw to Baldwin in the end zone that ended up resulting in a field goal instead of a touchdown. One of the worst throws I've ever seen him make. He missed another throw to, it might have been Baldwin, later in the game. He was just off. And watching what I saw in that first half, I was like, man, he must be hurt. Or almost like, I hope he's hurt, because there's no excuse to be missing these throws unless there's something physically wrong with you. Like, he's played with Doug Baldwin his whole career. If there's anybody he should not be overthrowing by 10 yards on 2nd and 12 in the end zone, it's Doug. So it looked bad. It looked bad. And then second quarter, we put together some scoring drives. Wilson makes some throws. Lockett had a good game. Moore made some catches. Could have made one or two other plays potentially, but he played fine. We started hitting the play action more, which was a big deal, because it just seems like we have a ton of success off of play action and we're not using it as much as we should. There are a ton of statistics that'll back me up on that. Why are we not running play action, constantly? It just seems like it works every time we do it. So, yeah, that. And then I saw a pass rush develop later in this game, especially on third down. And for me, coming into this game, I was like, what are we going to do on third down? How are we going to stop Green Bay from converting their third downs? For the most part, we did it with pressure. Frank Clark had a couple sacks. Rasheem Green had his first ever sack. Jacob Martin got in there. Jerron Reed got in there. We got pressure on Rodgers, and obviously Rodgers made plays. The touchdown pass to Tanyan, 54 yards, was a beauty, and it was just something where we just let him have 8 seconds back there. he made it happen with his legs, but regardless, he had all day to throw back there. He made some other really great throws to, I mean, the touchdown to Aaron Jones, that's tough to defend. Devontae Adams had a 57-yarder that, I mean, Shaquille got his hand right in there and just couldn't knock it away. Or he did actually have it hit his hand, and Adams just caught it anyway because Adams is a really good player. So I was appreciative of what we got out of the pass rush. Obviously, we didn't shut down Rodgers, but we did enough, especially in that second half. I mean, the only big play we had on our defense in that second half was the 57-yarder to Adams. Other than that, we got off the field on third downs. We forced punts. Still didn't force any turnovers. Haven't forced a turnover in like 3 games, I think, which is pretty bad. But we got off the field. We made tackles. We stopped the run. I mean, Aaron Jones, clearly a talented player. We held him in check, which was much needed after the last 2 weeks where we have not really stopped the run well at all against the Chargers and Rams. And we gave up points, but I'm pretty happy with the way this defense played, man. And, of course, as I fully expected us to be able to, we ran the ball well. Davis, Penny, Carson, they all contributed. Penny had the one sick 30-yard run where it looked like he was going to lose like 5 yards, and then he picked up 30. Not much from him after that, but he looks like a completely different player, which is massively significant for this squad. I mean, he's clearly more talented than Chris Carson. He just is. And we need him to be our guy at some point. And I'm seeing signs that that could be on its way to happening. So, good game by those guys. Carson got over the early fumble, scored a touchdown, had a good game. We ran out the clock at the end of the game by picking up a couple first downs on the ground, which is good to see. Offensive line, other than giving up 3 sacks to that one guy, which I would have to look at the tape to tell you really who to blame. I don't know if it's a Fetty. I don't know if it was Justin Simmons who got in there for a little bit. Obviously not good. Pass protection, other than that, was actually solid for me. The pre-snap penalties, I don't know if they're legit or not. I'll leave that up to other people. I honestly have no idea if those pre-snap penalties are legit, but either way, it's getting old because this was a home game against a defense that is not dominant by any stretch of the imaginations, and we had 5 false starts called on us. Maybe 1 or 2 of those should have been called on the defense. I honestly couldn't tell you, but it's starting to get a little silly how out of sorts this offense can look. And it's that, and it's the Wilson stuff too. I mean, he makes so many dumb plays in this game. He really does. Some of the sacks are not great. Catching that pass that got batted up in the air was, just moronic. The missed throws, but then you see what he does at the end of this game, and you struggle to hold on to that memory. You want to, it's so tough to figure things out with Wilson right now because he did come up big for us with that touchdown drive and the field goal drive in the fourth quarter. And he did do some positive things in this game, but I keep looking at the negative plays, and I'm like, do we really have to give this guy Aaron Rodgers money? And, like I said in my last video, I'm starting to notice. People are noticing. People are starting to figure out in my comments that Wilson is having some problems. And at the end of this season, Wilson's numbers are going to be spectacular, probably. He's on pace to have, 30 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, 3,000 yards. 66% completion. It's going to be a very pretty season statistically, but something's just missing right now. And I want him to be the guy going forward, but I also know that he's got to play better than this because I don't know what's going to happen with the offense this offseason. I don't know if we're going to keep Schottenheimer or not. I don't know if we're going to try to add some wrinkles to this offense, but you can't tell me that the offense that we saw even tonight, which was a pretty good offense, is going to win any championships because we are not going to get back that 2013 Seahawks defense ever. maybe no team ever in the NFL will ever be able to get to that point again on defense because of the way the league is headed. So I need my quarterback to be better, and I probably need a new offensive coordinator because I don't believe this offensive coordinator can get better, but I definitely need my quarterback to get better. As limited as our offensive game plan was today, as much as it pisses me off that we give up on 3rd and long, or that we are, run the ball on every 1st and 10, we run the ball on 1st and 15 over and over and over, all that bullshit. If Wilson hits Baldwin in the end zone for the easiest touchdown he's ever thrown in his life, maybe, this game's a lot less dramatic at the end. We put up more points, and I'm feeling differently. I just am. Shout out to Seabass. Made his field goals. He's not so bad. I mean, we were down on him after the way the season started to a degree, but he's not so bad. And obviously, Frank Clark, go get that money. Excuse me. Really good game by him. And yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Good game. We played well. We played well enough to win, just barely. There's a lot of stuff to still tell you that this team doesn't really look like a playoff team, but there's still time, and the team is doing some things very well. So that's really all you can say. All right. See y'all later. Peace.